it's Teresa, and today, I know it's a little early, but we're gonna do some Easter DIYs. I was just really inspired by a few different things, so I decided it was gonna just have to happen. First, we're starting off with one of these houses from Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna hit that a little bit with my heat gun to kind of loosen up that adhesive because I really don't want to destroy the whole thing, and I have a tendency to do that. So once I do that, I just kind of put my putty knife in there, pull that backing off, and I'm using the back side of it, and I just kind of needed that little blob of stuff to remove the stickers. And we're going to use kind of like the middle section of that paper because I didn't want the little spots that were supposed to be nails. We're just going to use our handy dandy glue stick. That is one of the big ones from Target. I think I stole it from my kids. We're just going to press that all down. And if I see, I'm just kind of wiggling around trying to get it to where it will look right, and I'll just kind of go back and forth and getting in the right spot off camera, apparently. Sorry about that. Once we're happy with where it is, I will smooth it all out, and on the back side, I'm going to actually add a piece of black chalkboard paper. Got that from Joann's on clearance, and I love it. It's really, really thick, and it works really well. We're going to use some of these rub-on transfers from Dollar Tree. This is like the little reef that's part of it. I did use two reefs to make it big enough. And we're going to use our little bunny that's in, I believe, an 8-pack of the little wood rabbits from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to kind of just start to peel them off and start to place it. What I should have done was to do like one at a time. I did two on this first go around. I ended up doing two. And I know I've got a little bit of space in between, but we're going to use other leaf design things to fill it in. So that's like a little tip for you if you want a bigger area than what you have available. Use the little extra pieces in the set to fill in. I'm not going to show you, step by step every single piece I put down, but basically all you're going to do is give a good rub on it, and this is going, rubbing it right onto paper. So I was a little nervous to use this set because like everybody loves them and they're hard to find, and I was like, oh, I don't want to waste them. But I rubbed it down a little bit with my finger and then went in with like the back side of my little scrapey tool, my little silicone hot glue holder. And it worked really, really well. I used a couple of different things. At one point, I even tried to use like my Cricut scraper for stuff, and this worked way, way better. So we're just going to use that. And like I said, it just peels up. It gives it a much lighter effect. Here it is with all the pieces I've added to it. Like I said, I've added in a couple little sprigs here and there that was on there. Kind of pushing back and forth, putting my little rabbit piece on there to see where I would end up with, where I would want it. We're going to fill in the hole with some wood filler, and like magic, because I had more than one of them, they came in a pack of 8, I switch it out. I've used my antique wax on that with the baby wipe, and we're going to do a quick, light, like whitewash of it. I didn't want to do too much, but I wanted to, I definitely didn't want it too much because you wanted to be able to see the wood grain in it, but I wanted to give it a little dusting of the white. So you just a tiny little bit, just a touch. And then we're going to take our twine and we're going to give it a little bow. I believe in my inspiration, which I'll show you at the end, it actually had raffia. I don't happen to have any raffia on hand, and I like twine. When it comes down to it, I like twine. I glue it on the back just to keep it from moving around too much, and then I'll just make a little simple knot, and we'll do just a teeny tiny little shoestring bow. I don't want too big, so we're just gonna, fix it the way it looks nice. Tuck in those little tails so they're coming down to the bottom part of the bunny. Trim off. Oh, no, that's right. I wanted it to sit a certain way, so I just kind of glued it down. Just a little tiny, bit of glue just to make it sit the way I wanted it to. And here's our little bunny. I'm going to put him aside because we are going to make another bunny. I am going to use this for the back side of my little house because I was like, you know what? I think it'd be super cute to have this be reversible. And I'm going to add a different rub-on transfer. We're just going to use that word right there. That's home. There was a couple of different choices. Just that's the one that I was like, you know what? That looks cute. Let's use that. And same kind of way everything works. Cut out the way you want it. Or I'm saying that the stencil that you want or rub-on transfer that you want, whatever we're calling this right now. You're just going to cut that off however wording you want, put it on, rub it on, peel off the backing, and here you go. Away you go, as they say. I'm just going to hot glue that little guy down to wherever is on here. And I haven't used this as chalkboard yet, but I'm anxious to try that out. I was going to try to like season it, but then I realized I don't have any white chalk. So I'll have to grab some of that the next time I go to the store. And we're going to glue our other bunny onto this side. And see, its ears and stuff are kind of covering up where the leaves look a little wonky. So now for the house, I did not want to give it like a full coat of the antique wax. I just wanted to darken it up a tiny little bit, and I really wanted to bring out a little bit more of that faux wood grain. I don't know, just something about it, like I wanted it to stay light because, you know, it is Easter time, it is springtime, everything is really light and just natural, and you know, maybe a little bit of pastels mixed in. I think will look really, really pretty with this particular house. I have to say, this project, I was so proud of myself on, you know, the final result that you'll see here in a minute. Even my husband's like, oh, that looks like you bought it. I was like, well, I've never gotten that compliment before from you. I'll take it. So, like I said, we're going to do the inside as well as the outside of the house because you can see all of it. So, makes sense, right? Do it all. Do it all, give it all the same basic look. It's up to you, however you want to do it. Go a little darker, go a little lighter. So we're just going to stick the house onto our little spot here and add our hot glue to it. Don't be like me. Don't go over the sides. I swear, I don't know sometimes. I don't know. It goes right along with the fact that I can't make a straight line with a ruler. I also cannot put a straight line of glue down either. So here it is, and there's the top. You can see the inspiration. I've got the front, I've got the back. I'm really happy. It's super, super cute. Next, we're going to use one of these little welcome signs, and it's really funny because the welcome is actually upside down compared to like the backing. I kind of destroyed the backing a little bit with it, so I sanded it down and then added the white paper. Not white paper. The white paint. That's Adirondack White by Folk Art. And then we're going to go over with some Parisian gray. And I went way too heavy on this. I barely took anything off the brush, apparently. So don't do that if you're trying just to do a little bit of distressing. But it's okay. I'm just going to go back over with the white, tone it down just to make it not so, you know, streaky. It was very streaky. So we are just going to clean it up with some more of that white paint. Not a big deal, not at all. So, and of course, because I'm not patient, do you think I waited for it to dry before I added on my decal? No, of course not. Why would we do something like that? But it just says Easter Blessings, and I like this. I actually picked it out from So Fotsy, I think is the site. I actually found it for free. I'll link it for you below. If you're watching this, the day it's posting, I think that it should still be free this week. They do like a weekly free thing. Every week they have free ones, and then they have a daily one. This is one of the weekly ones. Definitely go check it out. Like I said, I'll link it for you below. And if you do not have a Cricut, I advise just go check out those sites too, because you can get them, and usually they include an SVG file, which you would use for your Cricut or whatever, but then they also will sometimes include like a PDF. So definitely recommend, even if you don't have a Cricut, to go check it out, because on this project, you could have just printed this out on a piece of paper, added a little distressing over it, and it would have given you a very similar result. If you don't have a Cricut, you could even do something like this. So I highly recommend it. When you can, get it for free, guys, because nobody want to pay all that extra money for the, buying decals when you can get them for free. So just to kind of get everything to kind of flow all together, I'm going to add some more of those little pieces off of that rub-on transfer set. And same idea here. See, here I am. I'm going to try my little Cricut scraper thing, and I peel it up and it doesn't work. And like I said, on here, when you're doing any of these rub-ons, if you start to peel it up and you notice that it's still on the transfer, just put it back down and rub it a little bit more. It works so well. So it works really well when you're spot when when your paint is dry all the way too. I ended up adding another one after the fact because it felt like it needed a little something else like right next to the B, and when I did that I peeled up some of the paint. So like I said, don't be like me, be patient and let it dry. All right, so here's our little box. I liked the color of it, and it's not really like if I covered it with anything, it's not going to give it any kind of look to it other than just painted. So I took out all of the little nails that were there, and I'm just going to put glue in the corners. This way, if I ever wanted to pop it back out and put something else on it, it's not too difficult to do. And here is our end product. There's our little, inspiration as well. I really like it though. I think I might like mine better. All right, so on here, this is actually a project that was inspired by someone I saw post on a Facebook group. The person who posted it, her name is Jennifer, and she actually has like a little shop up in, I believe, Michigan called Mirakai Moon. I might be saying that completely wrong, but I will link it below in the description box so you can check it out. She posted it, these little bunnies that are made out of these dice. Absolutely adorable. I couldn't get over how cute they were, and I even asked her, I said, hey, is it all right if I make these on my YouTube channel? I'll link you, your stuff on here. I just thought they were too cute. So when I'm doing this, I decided it needed more than one of these balloons. So I did use two of the the 12-inch balloons from Dollar Tree. And you just cut off the end so that you can, get it on there to fit. Be careful, this is a latex balloon, so if you have any kind of allergy to latex, it is made out of latex, and it has the powdery stuff like that you would have if you had like latex gloves. My husband actually has an issue with the powder from latex gloves, so I was like, well, I better make sure I mention that before somebody else tries to make this and then they're worried about it making their hands break out or something like that. So if you have that problem, just be forewarned that that's an issue with this. I even tried to paint the dice. It didn't paint that great, but you could get away with it. So we're going to add our ears. This is just a couple of pieces of felt. I actually freehanded this. Guys, freehanding is not something that's normally in my vocabulary. So if I can freehand these little ears, you can too. When you're freehanding them, what I would recommend, make one set and then use that to kind of make a stencil out of the other set. You know what I mean? That way they're kind of similar, at least kind of close in size, kind of close in shape, that kind of thing. Otherwise, you'd have some wonky looking ears if they were a little different, but you never know. Sometimes bunnies can be wonky, right? So we've got our ears on there, and then next we are going to take a little bit out of these like pearl wrap things that you can get from Dollar Tree. I painted them black. You could also do this with a Sharpie. If you're going to do it, I definitely recommend after you put them on your bunny to go over them just a little bit more with paint because it does kind of tend to scratch off. And then the nose is just a little heart stud from Dollar Tree as well. It's super cute. I love it. And then we're going to use some floral wire, also from Dollar Tree. We're just like almost all Dollar Tree stuff today, I tell you what. I just cut it down, twirl it around like my finger or a pencil or something like that. And then we're going to just paint that black. You could even leave it green. It just depends on, on you. It's all about you. If you think you need to paint it, paint it. I painted it because I thought the little whiskers were cuter if they were black as opposed to being green. If you can find black floral wire, more power to you. You can skip the painting. Just a tiny little dab of glue. And I even wiped off a little bit of it because I didn't want to have glue all over my little bunny's face. Even though I think one of these little guys that I made has glue pretty much all over his face or her face. However it is. And then I was like, well, you know what? We need to make a little bow for in front of their ears. So I'm going to make just a little messy bow. Just putting a couple of strips of, I can't talk today, sorry. A couple of strips of ribbon. We're just going to tie it down using some twine just to give it a nice little cinch. And then we're just going to wrap the twine around it, as you see here. And once you've done that, you're going to have a nice little center-ish spot for your bow. Once you do that, you're going to kind of pull it tight, tie a little knot. And you know what? It probably would have been a lot more sense if I'd gone like the opposite direction, like one side goes one way, one side goes the other. But I don't know. Sometimes I think about these things after the fact. I'm like, yeah, that might have made more sense. So we're just going to trim up any little bits of messiness on the edges of our ribbon. We're going to glue that little guy down. Be careful too on since these are balloons, you know, if you have anything that's super, super hot, like if your glue gun, you know, is really, really hot, it might like get a little hole. So just be warned. And then I'm gonna take another one of those little hearts and put it in the middle. I just thought that was a cute little touch. There's lots of different things. You could do all kinds of bows. Here's my set that was my inspiration. And then there's the little set I made, including my wonky little guy. I thought he was kind of funny. So if you're interested in knowing how to do the feet, just let me know. I'll be happy to let you know how to do that. So now that we are at the end of the video, I'm going to show you real quick all that we ended up with, all of our projects. All right, so here they all are, really cute, perfect for Easter or even just a little spring. And of course, I have to include my fail for you for this week. So here was my inspiration, and that's kind of what I ended up with. You guys will have to tell me what I need to do to make a gnome because I can't seem to do it. So thanks so much for watching my video today. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will catch you guys next time. And don't forget, on Thursday, I will have my very first YouTube Live at 8 o'clock right here. I hope to see you then.